If you're wanting to tape in your ceilings just like that, then stick around, this is the video for you. Hi guys, bradamckinnon here. Today we'll be going through the full process of taping in new plasterboard ceilings, and we're going to start straight away by filling in the recess. So these new ceilings, the edge of the joints have a recess, just enough to fill and get your tape in. So what we're going to do first is fill in that recess. I'm just working off the floor. This is quite a low ceiling. If you need to use a scaffold or a plank or a ladder, that's what you need to do. So we're just going to fill in that recess. I'm using my 6-inch knife, so that goes across and fills the recess in from edge to edge. And then I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to hold the tape up close to the ceiling, and as I unroll it I'll just be holding my knife on and just lightly pressing that in. Then we'll come back from the center and just work our way outwards and just slightly press that tape into the mud, nice and gently on the edges so you're not pulling the tape back. And then we're just going to clean off those edges there, keep everything clean as we go. And we're actually just gonna, there's 3 joints in the ceiling, we're gonna tape them all in and come back and fill over them. Once we've taped in all 3, I like to just allow that to settle in and sort of shrink back a little bit before we fill it over. You can, of course, fill it over straight away, but I like to do it just after 3 or 4 joints. So right, our second one here, same thing again. Fill in the recess, press the tape in lightly, clean off the edges, and then move on to your next one. You can see there I've got a little scaffold there with all the stuff I need on it. My tape and my plaster and my screw gun. Sometimes there's some screws hanging down, you need to put those in. And we're just coming up here to this. You can see the end of this joint here had, that little piece there had a cut edge, so we just need to fill that out a bit more. We don't want to see any plasterboard through the compound. That's where you can get bubbling. I'm using a fibre fuse tape. You can use fibre fuse or paper tape. It's really your choice. If you're a beginner, fibre fuse is probably a bit better because there's no chance of bubbling. But if you're using paper tape and you're having trouble with it bubbling, you can check out my video linked in the description, why is my paper tape bubbling, and I'll sort of explain why that's happening in that video. We've got a little butt joint here, we're just going to do that after. Fill that up, cut the tape. I don't like to overlap the tape, just cut that up to the edge of the other tape, and you just want to hold those little pieces with your finger so you're not pulling the tape away as you're pressing it in. So the compound I'm using is a setting compound. This is a 90-minute setting compound, but of course you can use whatever you like. An air drying multi-purpose compound is absolutely fine as well. If you're a beginner, that's probably what I'd recommend. You don't have to worry about the plaster going off because it's air drying. It just dries to the current weather wherever you are. So here we are, we're back at the first joint now. We're just going to fill it over, giving it a bit of time to sort of shrink back in. And we're just going to run our knives across that recess again from edge to edge, just filling in that recess over the tape. So now the tape's embedded in between the same mix of plaster, so that'll dry now embedded in that plaster, and that's where it's going to gain its strength. Just clean off those edges. So always keep everything as clean as you can, just makes life a lot easier for when you're doing your next coat. Just means less scraping. Again, cleaning off the edges, just filling that recess nicely there. So there's not too many tools needed here. I'm just using a fork and my 6-inch knife. You can use a pan and a knife, or even a trowel if that's what your preference is. this is what I'd recommend using. Clean up as you go. If you drop any bits of plaster, pick them up straight away so you're not standing in them and trampling them through the floor. Just back at this sort of bit here with the cut edge, we're just going to fill that a bit extra just to get that fully covered and fully fanned out as nice as we can. Now if you want to see some videos on second coating and third coating, check out the videos linked in the description. Again, you can see me just rolling my wrist as I put the plaster on, and then just keeping a sort of a straight knife as I take it off again and clean the edges. And we're just going to finish with that little butt join. Just a bit of compound over the tape and sort of just feather it round there so it's all blended in nicely. And that's taping in ceilings for you. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.